resolve the motion. Order,
Moral
please.
gid eh.
With a vote of 13 in
Part
the
2 like
affirmative
that.
and 2 in the
Part 2
negative,
guys.
2
Part
in the
2.
negative, 0 abstain.
1.
Meron? I will say it again. With 13 votes in the affirmative, 2 in the negative, and 0 abstention, let the chair say it for the third time. With 13 votes in the affirmative, 2 in the negative, and 2 abstention, the chair orders that the earlier manifestation of the Honorable Sontay be stricken out from the record. So ordered.
Madam Chair, manifestation.
Now you're allowed to make a manifestation.
I think we are starting a dangerous precedent because now we are censoring manifestations which is neither illegal or immoral. So imagine we are conducting a hearing, but now statements which are neither immoral or illegal can be stricken out of the record without any reason. I think that's a terrible precedent.
Madam Chair.
Starting.
The Honorable
Thank you.
Zamora.
With all due respect to my friend, Congressman Bong Suntay, it is just the start of the Women's Month. And I don't think that we should be hearing such comments from our dear colleagues.
Correct.
We are not censuring anything, but we are reminding them that, in fact, we should support women by not saying these statements. Next week, Madam Chair, for the record, I'll be attending the UN conference on the Commission, 70th Commission on the Status of Women. This is, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I just wanted to say this. And this is about removing structural barriers to women's empowerment. And things like this do not empower women. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The chair
Yes.
would like to state that if the manifestation of the justice member offends the sensitivity of the justice members, then it means that we are crossing the boundaries already.
Madam Chair.
After all, we rule here by the judgment of the justice members. So I hope we respect the decision of the majority of the Justice Committee.
Madam Chair, just for clarity, there are two words which was uttered. I want to know, which was offensive? The word desire or the word emancipation?
Madam Chair, point of order, Madam.
The Honorable Suntay is reminded that
Point of order, Madam Chair. Point of
as to
order.
whether or not the manifestation is indeed
No, because
suggested.
I just want to know what is being...
Order, please. The chair
point of order.
is addressing the committee.
I'm raising a point of order, Madam Chair, on the basis that...
Please let the chair finish with her statement. As to whether or not the manifestation of the Honorable Suntay is offensive of our morality is a judgment that belongs exclusively to the justice members. I think the majority have spoken already.
Madam
The
Chair,
Honorable Adjong is
Thank you, Madam Chair.
recognized.
I'm raising a point of order on the basis that the issue has already been acted upon by the committee. The committee decided to delete and strike out the portion of the statement of Congressman Swansing from the record. So let's proceed. Let's move forward.
Madam Chair,
There's
Our
no-
manifestation
there's
is
no point of
noted.
dilly-dallying the process by going back to the issue that has already been acted by the committee. So that is my point of order.
Madam Chair,
Honorable
point of order
Suntay.
also. I am not questioning that the statement was stricken out. I am asking so that next time I would be more careful. If it is desire, I will never use desire in this committee. If it is imagination, then I will not use it also. Just for clarity, clarification purposes. Dahil baka yung iba yung gumamit, di ba, dapat they should be forewarned also. So that's why I'm asking.
To conclude our discussion on the
There was
earlier
a-
manifestation of the Honorable Suntay, the Honorable Adjong is correct. The same has been ruled upon, and let us all be reminded, it is the majority that rules in this committee. Let us conclude the discussion on that manifestation.
Madam Chair.
Is this a new matter?
This is going back to what we were discussing earlier, not going to this issue about
Does this not
imagination.
pertain to the manifestation that has been stricken out already
It
from
does
the
not
record?
pertain to it at all, Madam Chair.
The Honorable Po is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just going back to the issue at hand and discussing the substance of the impeachment complaint, I want to ask the sponsor of this measure whether or not the presence or the absence of a high-ranking individual is a statement in and of itself.
Honorable De Lima. The question is whether or not the presence of the high-ranking official in those gatherings is her statement itself.
Well, it's adoptive admission because she did not deny, she did not detach herself from those statements as a high-ranking public official. She knows the impact, the effect, the consequences of statements like that. So her mere presence is concurrence with what has been stated or what has occurred in those rallies. I so submit, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other manifestation from the justice members?
I have a question. Madam Chair.
Honorable Po.
Madam Chair, if because it may be argued that it was a coincidence that she attended the first event, and that such statements were made during the event. However, she did attend the second event. Would continually attending events which make similar statements, would it constitute an agreement towards the aforementioned statements?
Ma.
It would, because it refers to similar statements. So again, not doing anything, not saying anything, after hearing it from the first activity, from the first rally, would be her concurrence with the very essence of those statements. Thank you.
Honorable Po.
Because I would like to point out that if it's whether or not she actually made statements at these rallies, my colleagues are correct. She didn't make any statements verbally. However, if it's a question of whether or not her mere presence and continually attending similar events and not mentioning whether she's for or against what's happening in these events is a statement in and of itself, that's a different argument altogether. So I just want to point out that the context of everything we're discussing and the timeline is also very important in determining whether or not this ground has substance.
Honorable De Lima, would you like to make further comment to that?
No more, Your Honor. I concur with those remarks of that position about the context and the timing. Thank
All
you.
right. If there are no more manifestations coming from the justice members, then this is the conclusion of our deliberation on the sixth ground. Will the endorser be interested to add to her manifestation before we end our deliberation on the third impeachment complaint?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
just
You are
a
recognized. You may
information.
proceed.
So at this juncture, having deliberated on all 6 grounds, let us return to the only question that matters at this stage. The only question before this committee is whether this verified complaint recites ultimate facts, which if hypothetically admitted as true, constitute impeachable offenses under Article 11 of the Constitution. The complaint, under certain grounds, specifies amounts, hundreds of millions in confidential funds. It alleges concrete acts, cash withdrawals, certifications, liquidation reports, audit findings, and disallowances. It cites sworn testimonies and references constitutional duties of accountability, transparency, and fidelity to public trust. It even recounts public admissions of extraordinary gravity. These are not vague accusations, not sweeping conclusions. These are detailed factual allegations supported by annexes, audit findings, certifications, and sworn testimonies were part of the record. And these are that can be taken cognizance of and can still be proven later during the evidentiary stage. Section 5 requires only a recital of facts constituting the offense charged. That standard has been met. The question is whether the Constitution allows us to turn away when a verified complaint alleges specific amounts, specific acts, specific certifications, specific audit findings, specific fictitious documents, sworn testimonies, and public admissions that, if true, fall squarely within the grounds of culpable violation of the Constitution, graft and corruption, bribery, other high crimes, and betrayal of public trust. If we dismiss such allegations without allowing the constitutional process to proceed, then impeachment becomes meaningless. Ulitin ko lang po, ang impeachment itong nagaganap ngayon ay hindi po ito parusa. Ito ay mekanismo ng pananagutan. To declare this complaint insufficient despite the ultimate facts pleaded would be to raise the threshold beyond what the Constitution and the rules require, and that, with due respect, we cannot do. So I humbly, firmly, and strongly submit that the third complaint, the Reverend Father Sabalia et al. Complaint, is sufficient in substance. Thank you.
That concludes our deliberation on the sufficiency in substance of the third impeachment complaint. For lack of material time, we will be suspending until tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, and tomorrow we will be holding our deliberation on the fourth impeachment complaint, and after that, we will be proceeding to vote on the sufficiency in substance, one after the other of these two impeachment complaints. Thank you, everyone. The meeting is suspended.
Thank you everyone for watching. It's done. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks guys for watching.